On December 9th, the Delaware River Basin Commission heard from the public on the proposed PennEast Pipeline project. The agency has oversight over the 108-mile pipeline that, if built, will cut across the Delaware River watershed, destroying wetlands and forests along the project route.
I would like to talk to you about the Alexalkin Creek, the principal water body in West Amwell. It drains into the Delaware River, 22 stream miles and 53 lake acres. In 2004, the state reclassified the Alexalkin as a Category 1 stream based in part on its connection to the Delaware River. The Federal Environmental Protection Agency thought that this was a very good classification, and that following year gave West Amwell a $239,000 Clean Water 319H grant to develop a maintenance plan for the Alexalkin, which we did, and it was approved. Currently, we are the recipient of a $570,000 319H grant to study the thermal impacts on the Alexalkin impairments, which we are doing by decommissioning a dam and a very, very warm, shallow lake bed upstream from the dam. We're going to create a riparian habitat and a wetland habitat. This will effectively cool the water off. However, very shortly downstream, the pipeline is supposed to go through. It's going to warm it right back up. Now, the federal government has given us over $800,000 to protect the Alexalkin Creek. The pipeline is going to do irreparable damage to the intent of the federal and state programs to protect the Alexalkin and protect our drinking water. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Rossum. I'm the Delaware Riverkeeper, and I'm here speaking on behalf of the Delaware Riverkeeper Network. And I'd like to begin by thanking the Delaware River Basin Commission for choosing to exercise your jurisdiction over the PennEast Pipeline project. DRBC authority over this project is triggered on at least 3 fronts. The project's going to be crossing a number of comprehensive plan areas. The project is going to have to meet special protection waters regulations and requirements. And the project will cause a significant disturbance of ground cover affecting water resources. It is important that the DRBC implement its authority under all 3 provisions, as each requires a different quality and kind of review and a different kind of exercise of your authority. And it's important in your review that the DRBC look at the cumulative impacts across the entire length and breadth of the project and not engage in piecemeal impact considerations. Over 88 miles of the PennEast Pipeline project are going to be cut within the boundaries of the Delaware River watershed. Depending upon the right-of-way width, that means there's going to be between 500 and 1,100 acres of a permanent and degrading footprint associated with this pipeline. Plus, there'll be the additional disturbance that's going to take place during construction, which in the experience of the Delaware Riverkeeper Network will also leave behind a perpetual, enduring, and significant impact. In both the permanent right-of-way and the temporary workspaces, there's going to be a loss of mature tree cover and healthy vegetation. In the case of forest crossings, that means an additional 300 feet of harm into the neighboring forest. The connection between healthy forests and healthy water quality is well understood in the scientific literature. There's going to be the creation of highly impacted soils. Even in the temporary workspaces, Delaware Riverkeeper Network scientific study has shown compaction levels as much as 98%. That rivals the compaction levels of earthen dams. Soil compaction will have a degrading impact on water quality and waterway health. There's going to be the permanent modification of wetlands and the alteration of groundwater flows. The gigantic and permanent footprint and transformation of our watershed lands that the PennEast Pipeline project will have will cause a direct, certain, and degrading impact on water quality and waterway health if this project is allowed to pass through our watershed as is being proposed. I provided for you today 3 research projects. There will be more coming from the Delaware Riverkeeper Network, but 3 research projects that we have already done that discuss the enduring and significant impact of pipeline projects. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm speaking on behalf of myself and my community. I reside in Delaware Township. I'm the 4th generation on our family farm in Rosemont. It is a preserve farm that I preserved along with my family. The entire valley is preserved, and we bonded together as a community to really decide to preserve that area with the taxpayer dollars. So it was the will of the community and the money of the entire country and the state. I also serve on the Environmental Commission, or I did for several years, and have been on our Open Space Commission for over a decade. So I've worked on some of the things you've heard about today already, stormwater issues, runoff issues, watershed issues. So I've become very knowledgeable about this, and that was part of my decision to join my neighbors in preserving our farm. I'm also currently, our township has voted an ordinance against the pipeline, opposing the pipeline, and I am part of our township's committee to coordinate with our neighbors, such as you've heard from in Holland and also Kingwood Township, down in Stockton and Lambertville, to bond together, and with Hopewell to fight this pipeline. So I'm part of that coordination. In our township and the ones north of us, we have noticed that this PennEast Pipeline almost entirely targets preserved farmland and parkland. And these lands are preserved by owners and taxpayers at great expense to be kept pristine and natural in perpetuity, not for the profit of energy companies seeking to transport more unneeded fracked gas that, by the way, none of us will have any access to anyway. Even our local Leonard Lance, who won another term, and he ran for office on the platform that this path of this pipeline is unacceptable because preserved farmland is a contract with the landowners and the public, which must be honored in perpetuity to preserve not just farming and agriculture, but the environment. So essentially, you've heard about a lot of other things. We do have streams, CR1 streams. We have springs that come up out of the ground on our farm that will be affected. We have stream corridors. We're at the top of a hill. My farm and the 3 neighboring preserve farms are all at the top of a hill. The communities below us, the Wickechokie, the Delaware, the Lockatong, we're on a very steep hill. There's a lot of erosion. They'll be very negatively impacted by this. The other thing I'd like to point out, and I have some documents to turn into you, is that most of these preserve farms, including mine, we entered into a 10-year CRP contract to make the land certified organic. I didn't do my whole farm, but all of the land that I certified organic over a 10-year program with payments of over $23,000 by the public to do that, are going to be affected by the pipeline. The pipeline will run through all of these certified organic fields. They will no longer be able to be organic because of the herbicides and pesticides that will be used to maintain the pipeline, not to mention what the pipeline itself will emit. And I will turn those contracts into you, along with a map showing where the fields are and where the pipeline will go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Arianne, Elinich, and I'm a lifelong resident of Bucks County, Pennsylvania. The Delaware River is not only a nationally protected wild and scenic river, but it is also a national treasure to those who value the principles our country was founded upon. There is no justice in allowing a private corporation to trump the rights of American citizens. The PennEast Pipeline must not be allowed to drill under the Delaware River, as it will undoubtedly suffer a negative environmental impact on the Delaware River, the river basin, and its adjacent watersheds and aquifers. The health and welfare of the citizens of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and Delaware are at stake, as water is a vital resource to all of us. PennEast is willing to forsake wetlands, watersheds, preserved farmland, and designated open spaces throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey in order to gain independence from the existing pipeline infrastructure. At a recent public hearing on natural gas in Pennsylvania, a gas industry advocate informed us that the export value of natural gas far exceeds any value it would have in our own backyards. At this same hearing, another natural gas advocate was very excited to announce that they had just recently tapped Utica shale, even deeper and much older than Marcellus deposits along the Delaware River Basin. Many privately owned natural gas companies are profiting at the expense of the health and welfare of the citizens of Pennsylvania, and if we allow this infrastructure to expand further into our communities, it will undoubtedly deliver the dangers of natural gas fracking itself directly to our doorsteps. I will not entrust the protection of our environment to the PADEP, as they have proven to me that they are inadequately staffed and not equipped to actually protect the environment in my personal watershed, the Cooks Creek watershed, a Class 1 watershed in my own backyard. Nor do I entrust that the insufficient amount of pipeline safety inspectors on staff in Pennsylvania will have the capacity to ensure the safe and frequent inspections of existing pipeline infrastructure, let alone new pipeline projects. Gas fracking in Pennsylvania has poisoned many of the aquifers across our state already, and regardless of safety upgrades, pipeline infrastructure continues to remain a hazard in our communities, as can be evidenced by the most recent gas explosion in Dunmore, Pennsylvania. If given a chance, renewable energy would create more jobs and greater energy independence than natural gas ever will. The PennEast Pipeline is unwelcome in many of the townships and municipalities along its proposed route, and many have passed resolutions against the PennEast Pipeline. With due respect, the future is renewable energy. Thank you for hearing my comments today and for all of your efforts in protecting our precious Delaware River Basin.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Lynda Farrell. I represent Pipeline Safety Coalition, a 501c3 organization whose mission is to build partnerships with residents, safety advocates, government, industry, and to improve public, personal, and environmental safety in pipeline issues. As Executive Director, the Board of Directors asks that I convey our sincere thanks to the Commission for its decision to exercise legal authority in consideration of environmental and water resource impacts of the PennEast Pipeline proposal. Approximately 87% of the right-of-way would take place within the Delaware River watershed. Therefore, we urge the Commission to use its authority to the fullest extent, considering the cumulative impacts of not only this project, but in other pipeline projects inevitably to come. Pre-Marcellus Shale 2004, 60,000 miles of gas and oil pipelines crisscross Pennsylvania's 46,000 square mile landscape. The initial estimates of the need for 85,000 more miles of pipeline to transport Marcellus Shale were staggering, but now appear to be conservative. We know Pennsylvania natural gas resources will largely be sold overseas, and we know that the Delaware River Basin lies between industry supply and those markets. Expedience of state and federal permits to accommodate industry-preferred routes, construction methods, and determination of needs can no longer be acceptable in the permitting process. The DRBC has the power, authority, and obligation to intercede. By nature, pipeline construction has the distinct probability of significant ground cover disturbance affecting water resources, measurable change in existing water quality for special protection waters, and for impacts to reservoirs and recreation areas both within and beyond the DRBC comprehensive plan. We cannot emphasize strongly enough the importance of the DRBC's role in review and regulation of this project as a whole, the cumulative impacts of this project, and of all pipeline projects in the Delaware River Basin. Pipeline Safety Coalition's emphasis on safety includes the control of recognized hazards to achieve acceptable levels of risk and the protection of citizens and their environment. We urge the DRBC to take up the gauntlet bestowed upon it in the signing of the compact in matters of planning and development within the Delaware River Basin. The commitment made by the DRBC in exercising jurisdiction in this proposal may indeed set the benchmark for the level of achievable safety in the Delaware River Basin in each and every pipeline seeking to breach this invaluable natural resource. Thank you.
I've grown on an organic, earth-friendly farm for 13 years, drinking the water of my dreams. When I was told that a gas company wanted to drive a pipeline through our township, intersect our watershed and our preserved lands, felt as if they wanted to wipe away every last drop of the cleanest water in the state. Cooks Creek is an exceptional value watershed that runs into the Delaware River, only 1,000 feet from where I live. I can't imagine drills and bulldozers destroying the creek, canal, and the Delaware River for a business just to ship this gas away to other countries. If you ask me, that doesn't sound very legal. We don't use natural gas for anything on our farm, and I don't know anyone in our town that does. Why are these companies spending billions of dollars on pollutant fossil fuels when they could be using it for a renewable energy infrastructure? Seems like this energy plan is going backwards in time. Didn't we already decide fossil fuels are destructive and non-sustainable? This pipeline will just give reason for the fracking wells to keep destroying the earth. Our whole world is trying to stop fracking. So why would we allow more pipelines for that fracked gas to run through? When I'm old enough to have a family and all the gas is sold and gone, what are we going to do with all that pollution in the water and soil? How are we going to have the money to remove this entire infrastructure? I've been told that the DRBC has done a great job cleaning and preserving the river and creeks from horrible and destruction pollution from the past. It doesn't seem logical or even a good business decision to destroy 108 miles of preserved land and waterways for any reason. We must have clean water to survive. This is serious. Please tell FERC and PennEast definitely no way to this project. We need your help to protect our future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elinich, and I have been a resident of Bucks County, Pennsylvania my entire life. We use the Delaware River water for many things, and it would be a shame to ruin it. Think about all the wildlife and the habitats that can be affected by the PennEast Pipeline. Many people have already done so much to clean up this river. Why should we disregard all that has been done to protect the Delaware? What PennEast is probably not aware of is all the children they would affect with their pipeline. My generation and the generations after me are going to have to deal with a poor water supply. You know, I have a little friend whose name is actually River, and he says that if you destroy this river, you destroy him. The PennEast Pipeline construction is going to affect all these communities and their water supplies while they are unaware of it. That water could possibly make people sick and cause so many other problems. The question that is out there right now is, what will the pipeline and/or fracking do to benefit us? Well, some people might say it's good because it makes us money. First the fracking, then the pipeline. What next? Someday soon we are going to run out of natural gas, and at that time I'm scared to see what they'll come up with. Much of our water around the world is already being destroyed. We need to at least keep our river clean. Thank you for protecting our river and hearing my comments today.
Thank you.